Hello, users, and welcome to another episodic installation of Above It All. And holy Macintosh, I've got some really bad news here. Almost a quarter of young Americans think that the Holocaust is a myth or exaggerated. Now, if your initial reaction to this isn't chances are you're probably not in a good headspace at this moment, and I suggest therapy. It was the greatest crime. This is from Vice. This is the greatest crime of the 20th century, but Gen Z and millennial Americans remain hugely ignorant about the Holocaust. 1 in 10 young Americans believes that the Holocaust never happened, while almost a quarter, 23%, believe it is a myth or that the number of Jews who were killed has been exaggerated. Meanwhile, 12% of respondents say they have never heard of or don't think they've heard the word Holocaust before. Now, this is coming off of news that I'll cover that I haven't covered on my channel yet because I've been a little lazy the past few days, of ICE concentration camps in the United States performing hysterectomies, or I don't know how to pronounce that word, I'm so sorry, on immigrant women. And so the idea that this is happening in this country, and now that this country is kind of looking to be one of, if not the most ignorant and anti-intellectual countries on the planet, that just so happens to have the highest amount of military power, this is not good. This is a recipe for disaster. So, these are the shocking findings of the first 50-state survey on Holocaust knowledge among Americans aged between 18 and 39. Some of the findings reveal that young Americans not only lack an understanding of what happened in Germany during the Second World War, but have also bought into conspiracy theories that have spread like wildfire on social media in recent years. The alt-right, for example, loves this whole, the Holocaust only killed a couple people. You know, it was just kind of like a few bad apples. It's like the same shit that people are saying about our government now. Oh, it's only a few bad apples. They're not all like this. Not all cops. Not all ICE. Like, these same people are the same people spreading the lies that, oh yeah, it was just a couple Nazis, or maybe a little too overzealous. You know, oh, the United States hasn't committed war crimes. You know, not all veterans. Now, again, veterans is a whole different story. A lot of people get conscripted and brainwashed into going into the military. But still, the point remains is that the U.S. commits war crimes, and you get people that deny them and just say, oh, there's a few bad apples. There's nothing systemic going on here. There's no criticism I can apply to the whole institution here. It's just a few bad apples. And they will attach that logic retroactively to Nazi actions, to the Holocaust, and it's ridiculous. For example, 11% of respondents believe Jews were responsible for the Holocaust. What? A figure that rises disturbingly to 19% in the state of New York. 1 in 5 folks in New York believe that Jews did the Holocaust. What? Nationally, 49% of respondents said they had come across Holocaust denial or distortion content on social media. So that accounts for why half of these people are at least kind of maybe ridiculous. But the other half, I don't know, it's just these numbers are staggering to me. Almost 2/3, 63%, were unaware that 6 million Jews were killed in the Holocaust, while more than a third, 36%, believed the death toll was under 2 million. Nearly half, 48%, could not name a single one of the 40,000 concentration camps and ghettos in Europe during the Holocaust, and just 6% of respondents were familiar with the infamous Dachau camp. The results are both shocking and saddening, as they underscore why we must act now while Holocaust survivors are still with us to voice their stories. Gideon Taylor, the president of the Conference on Jewish Material Claims Against Germany, which commissioned the survey, said in a statement, We need to understand why we aren't doing better in educating a younger generation about the Holocaust and the lessons of the past, Taylor added. This needs to serve as a wake-up call to us all, and as a roadmap of where government officials need to act. Now, the thing is, you are probably going to be looking on this video, and if you look at this video 36 to 48 hours after it's posted and scroll down and look at the comments, I guarantee you are going to see Holocaust deniers in my video comments, because that is just rampant on YouTube. The alt-right has won in a lot of the information war that they have been trying to promulgate throughout society. And you can just see it everywhere. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. You go outside, you ask people about that. They don't know anything. They don't know. It hasn't even been 100 years, right? Holocaust survivors are still alive, and yet they don't know it existed. What? Or they don't know anything about it. It's ridiculous. The survey also sought to understand where Holocaust knowledge was highest and lowest across the United States by drilling down to the state level for the first time. To do this, a Holocaust knowledge score was calculated by using the percentage of respondents who had definitively heard about the Holocaust and could name at least one concentration camp, death camp, or ghetto, and knew that 6 million Jews were killed in the Holocaust. Florida, 20%, Mississippi 18%, and Arkansas 17% came bottom to the list, while Wisconsin 42%. You might be thinking, only 42%? That's what I'm thinking. Minnesota at 37% and Massachusetts 35% topped the list. The best states we've got have less than half of a percent of young adults who know what the hell happened in the Holocaust. Holocaust denial is a continuing problem on social media platforms, and a study published last month found that Facebook's own recommendation algorithm was actively promoting this material. Now the Conference on Jewish Material Claims Against Germany wants to alert Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg to the problem by getting Holocaust survivors to post personal videos appealing directly to the Facebook CEO to remove the harmful content. This is what happens when you give singular people so much power, by the way. It is clear that we must fight this distortion of history and do all we can to ensure that social media giants stop allowing this harmful content on their platforms. Greg Schneider, conference executive vice president, said in a statement, survivors lost their families, friends, homes, and communities. We cannot deny their history. This is a failure of American education. I'm 24, okay? I fall into this young adult category. When I was in high school, we were not taught that much about Nazi Germany. We were only, I went to high school in New Jersey, for reference. We read a couple of books on the Holocaust, but nothing was super ever in-depth. Now, again, I know New Jersey probably, right? Probably, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say it's probably better than a lot of schools in the South. I know a lot of schools in the South, like in Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, don't even teach actual things about the Civil War. They just kind of say, oh yeah, it was kind of a lost cause. People got a little bit too rambunctious, and then leave it at there. So this is a very, very huge problem in the United States of America. Again, these numbers are staggering because like 23% of young adults believe it is a myth. You go outside, 1 in 4 young adults think the Holocaust was a myth. What? And again, if you scroll down on this video, 36, 48 hours at least, when it's posted, you will see the same people who believe it's a myth posting on this video, trying to call, ooh, soy boy, triggered, tranny. Oh, you're manipulating history with your lies, because these people are crazy. And right now they are winning the information war because young people know how to use the internet, and young people are more attuned to how the internet works. And old people don't know how to use the internet. So all it takes is a couple of young people who know the internet and know how it works that are straight up evil. And they can manipulate millions of people. Look at QAnon, for example. QAnon has taken off, right? It has exploded in popularity in the last couple of months. And it's just, how does this happen? Facebook is the number one culprit. because you should never allow this much power to congregate to one person. And this is what capitalism is it allows power accumulation to rise to the top, and then you have one person who gets to decide, is the Holocaust real? And how can I make money off of this question? Think about it. It's a disaster.